Okay, so I thought I was gonna send that first video, but I messed up. So I corrected it, and yeah, let's just go from there. So, like I was saying, I'm just assuming that you guys are naming alkanes, which are compounds with single carbon-carbon bonds, and it's an alkane. So basically, to name compounds, you're gonna have to know the parent chain and then the substituents. And the parent chains are just the longest carbon chain, and they have the name. So like, if the longest carbon chain, for example, is 4, it's butane. And you just have to memorize these, honestly. So 1 is methane, 2 is ethane, 3 is propane, 4 is butane, 5 is pentane, 6 is hexane, 7 is heptane. You're supposed to memorize up to 10, but I only did 7 because really the compounds that you're gonna work with, like, it's not gonna go over 7 most of the times. You may see 8, and that's octane, and then you might see 9, that's nonane, and then 10 is like decane, I think, or something like that. So, ooh, you can't even see that. My bad. Okay, 10 is decane. And then for the substituents, it's basically the names of the parent chains, and you take off the ane ending and replace it with YL. So 1 is methyl, 2 is ethyl, 3 is propyl, 4 is butyl, and 5 is pentyl. And once you memorize these, you can honestly probably like name any simple alkane compound, because it's like gonna be easy. So then going to the example here, you have this, and you need to like draw it out. And in organic chemistry, you're gonna draw like line compounds, and the line structure for your compounds. So this is like line structure, and it looks weird, but it's like simple. So like each endpoint is a carbon, and then each point is a carbon. So like this one has 1 carbon, 2 carbon, 3 carbon, 4 carbon, 5 carbon, 6 carbon, 7 carbon. So this is a heptane. And then like if I drew something like here, if I drew a line here, that would be my substituent, because it's branching off of the parent chain. So that would be what is it, 6 methyl heptane, because I'll explain it later when we get to this example. So basically, you would usually draw in the line form, and but I just felt like for this example, it was easier to go ahead and show the carbons, the actual carbons, so you can count and follow. So like, you draw your carbon out. It doesn't matter like where you put the surrounding things from the central one, so this one is the central carbon, and then you have this methyl group branching off of it, and it didn't really matter where you put the methyl group, so I just decided to put one right there and the other one right there. And then you have a methyl group branching off, 2 methyl groups, so I just put those 2 right there. And then, like I said, so the first thing you need to do is find the parent chain, and the parent chain is just the longest chain of carbons. So basically, just count your carbons. So naturally, you would just want to go straight first and do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you think it's a butane. But remember to like check all of your paths. So see if you can find like a different path. So that was CH3, CH2, C, CH3. That's the same thing if we went like 1 up. That's the same thing. And then if you go here, that's different. So CH3, CH2, C, CH3, CH2. and you just count the carbons again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is bigger than 4, so that's your parent chain. Looking over at the list, 5 is pentane. So you put pentane down. For substituents, the substituents go before the parent chain. The parent chain is the last thing you would name, and then substituents go in front of the parent chain alphabetized. So, like, for example, the ethyl would go before the propyl, and then the ethyl would go before the methyl, because E comes before M, E comes before P. You get it? So you look at the substituents. So these are your 2 substituents, and you identify them. Okay, that's a ethyl. That's a methyl because it's 1, and then that's a methyl. That's 1. So, and then you find where on the carbon is this substituent. So substituents always come with numbers, and those numbers are their locants. But basically, it's just like, okay, what carbon is this branching from? And then since you already numbered it, it's easy to see that both of them are coming from the 3rd carbon. So you do 3, 3, because it's 2 of them, and then dimethyl. So you don't have to do, because traditionally, you would do 3 methyl dash 3 dash methyl pentane, but since they're the same thing, you just do a prefix and say dimethyl, and then keep the locant. So 3, 3 dimethyl pentane, and that is how you get your answer. This video is a little shorter.